All right, so computer science, paper 2, October, November 2019. All right. Question number 1. Study the following pseudocode. Procedure: fill tank. Declares tries, declare full, tries is equal to 1, full, read sensor. We have to make, I believe, a flowchart out of it. Okay, so no, let's see. Okay, the pseudocode includes features that make it easier to understand. Okay, so what are those features? We have to understand. You see, capitalized keywords, proper variable names, all identifiers are self-explanatory. Assignment symbol, indentation, this is indentation. All right, and there are no comments, but had that been there, this is another feature. Okay, so indentation, then we have got these blank lines as well. These blank lines are 2. All right, so descriptive variable names, indentation, capitalization of the keywords, and blank lines. These might be few of the features. Those are there. All right, so question 1A. Question 1A1. All right. 3 features are descriptive variable names, identifier names, self-explanatory identifier names. Okay, indentation, capitalization of keywords. There might be more. You can see in your marking scheme. Draw a program flowchart to represent the algorithm implemented in pseudocode. Let me show that to you. Hold on, let me pull up your marking scheme. There we go. All right, so you can see, be careful about these boxes. These are when we are calling a subroutine. We have to have these margin process boxes. All right, so this program starts. This is an assignment. All right, so this is another assignment where a function is being called. The value of the function is being assigned to a variable full, and then the full is being checked. If it is no, this process is going on. If it is yes, it moves on to say bye bye, already full. Okay, and then when we get into this process, we have other options too. Okay, so this is easy to practice. All right, if you have seen, you are not going to get any marks for the start and the stop symbol, so don't be thinking that. All right, so now next question, part B. Part B is programming languages support different data types. Complete the table by giving a suitable data type for each of these. Okay, so this is not the big deal. This is basically an integer, this is Boolean, this is real, this is a string. Okay, so B1, part B1. All right, so we have real. So this was example value, integer, Boolean, real, and this one was a string. Okay. Now, next part. Evaluate each expression in the following table. If the expression is invalid, write error. Okay. So let's do that. So right of this top 3. So we have taken what top. Okay, and the left of H2. So when we merge it, it will become topic. Then mid of the num of string 3, 1. So this will be 1. All right. And then integer number to string this. So number to string, when we convert, so this will be an error. Integer requires a numeric input, not a string. And then we have got 13/2. So the answer is basically 6. Actually, it is 6.5, but it will be 6 after the application of integer. So let's do that. Evaluating each expression in the table, expression evaluates to. All right, so hold on. All right, so I have made it readable now. So whatever that we discussed, I have put it here. Okay, now next part, 2A. Describe the program development cycle with reference to the following: source code, object code, code maintenance. This is again. Now, basically, the program development cycle is a series of steps that a programmer follows to create, test, and maintain the software program, which with reference to the source code, object code, and corrective maintenance. The development cycle can be described as: with the source code, they have said for the source code, the programmer writes the program's code in a high-level language such as C, Java, Python. This human readable form of code is called the source code. It contains the logic, algorithm, and instructions here that defines how the program will function. Then comes compilation. The source code that needs to be translated into machine readable format known as object code or machine code. This one, the program to be executed by a computer, it has to have the object code on it. This is done using the compiler or assembler for low-level languages, which checks the source code for syntax errors and converts it into the format that the computer can understand and execute. Then comes a lot of work, linking, testing, and then this is corrective maintenance. Corrective maintenance, after identifying issues during the testing phase, programmer performs corrective maintenance by modifying the source code to fix the reported bugs and errors. The modified source code is then recompiled, linked, and tested again to ensure that the changes that resolve the issues and have not introduced any new ones. This process of fixing, recompiling, and testing may be repeated several times until the program is considered stable and reliable without errors. And then we have got the last one is deployment, and then continuous maintenance and all. The program development cycle is an iterative process with each stage informing the need and often requiring revisiting previous stage to refine and improve the software. So what your syllabus is this. Let me just copy it down for you. This is basically question 2A part. All right. So the source code represents a solution design algorithm expressed in high-level language. The object code is produced by the compiler during the translation stage. Corrective maintenance occurs when testing reveals a fault or error in the program. Corrective maintenance when the program is debugged. All right. And then they say that accept alternative answers provided they relate to the program development cycle. Okay. So, and this is basically your MS. Let me put a little of my understanding as well. Let me just copy it somewhere. Hold on. These are my 2 cents. You don't have to put these in exam. This is just for your understanding. So just go through these when I share the file. Okay. All right. So next part B. Give 3 features of IDE that can help with initial error detection while writing the program. IDE, IDE is basically the environment. Interpreter debugging, auto decom. Yes, exactly. Those are there. Syntax highlighting, auto completion, code suggestions. What your syllabus says, marking scheme says is all you have to do is just to name those. All right. So this is part B. Your marking scheme says any of these: dynamic syntax checking, highlighting undeclared variables, incorrect variable usage, parameter checking, tag checking, auto indentation, pretty print, or real-time editor checking. And let me put my 3. So this is just for your revision part. Just go through these words as well. Okay. So this is from your marking scheme, and this is my 3 features of IDE are these: highlighting syntax errors, auto completion, code suggestion, real-time error checking, and all. Okay. So now next part. Questions are not that complicated until now. 3. They will be now. A student is developing program to search through a string of numeric digits to count how many times each digit occurred. The variable in a string will store the string, and the 1D array result will store the count values. The program will check each character in the string to count how many times each digit occurs, record the count of each digit using array, output the count for each element of the array together with the corresponding digit. The array result is a 1D array of type integer. Write pseudocode to declare the array and to initialize all elements to 0. And then write the pseudocode for the program, declare variables you use. So let's just A and B, combine these 2 together. Together in one. Okay. This is part question A and B, question 3. Question 3, A and B. All right. All right. So let me put my own version of it first, and then we will see that what is there in your marking scheme. So declare in a string. So this is basically the, as they have said that this is not a subroutine. So we are going to just do that. So in a string, declare result as an array 1 to 10 of integer. Declare index as integer. This is declare current character, a character that we are going to pick in one go, current digit, current character, current digit. Initialize all the elements of the result array to 0. For index is equal to 0 to 9, or let's make it 0 to, yes. Instead of 1 to 10, let's make it 0 to 9. So these are 10 elements. Result index is equal to 0. Okay. And for we are not going to make use of and for, rather we are going to use next. Input the string of numeric. So first we say input, the prompt is enter a string of numeric digits, and we will take it in a string. Then iterate through each character in the string. For index is equal to 0 to length of a string minus 1. See, length, if length is 10, we are going till 9 because we have started from 0. Okay, so let's take mid index comma 1. So we have picked up one character, current character made of a string index comma 1. All right. So if current character is greater than or equal to 0 and current character is less than or equal to 9, it means it is a digit. Then current digit is equal to integer of current character minus integer of 0. So basically what happens, in your program, you will be getting that additional supplement that will tell that how to convert it, the character digit into integer digit. Maybe from that is a character to digit or something like that. Now text to number maybe. So I have just made it a generalized thing. Integer of current character, you see basically characters are starting from what is the ASCII of 0? 40 something, 46 I believe. So minus integer of 0, so we would have a number, straight number. Let's say if the ASCII of let me first check what is the ASCII of 5, let's say. ASCII of 5 is basically 53. All right. And 0 is basically accordingly 48. So let's say if the current digit is 5, then integer of current would be 53, and integer would be 48. So that makes it what? 5. All right. So this is a generalized way. If the character, whatever the character we have found the integer of it, let's say make it ASCII of it. ASCII of it. All right. So this is now more understandable. Increment the count for the digit in the result array. Now what will basically happen that this current digit, let me show it in Excel form. Zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So what is basically happening? Let's say you have picked up a, and we have initialized this whole array to 0 first. Okay. Now what is basically happening? Let's say we picked up a character 5 that basically points to what? That basically points to this 5th location. And at that location, whatever the data that we have, we will make it +1. Okay. And let's say then we have found 6. So at 6, it will become 1. And then let's say we have found 5 again. So at the location 5, we have got already 1. So it will become 2. That is how it works. Okay. Now, so we are going to pick up one character. That character is essentially a digit. That digit is basically going to serve us as the subscript for the array result. And then at that particular subscript, we are going to add increment it basically. Okay. So there we go. ये हो जाएगा. Then output the count for each digit. अब क्या होगा कि from 0 to 9 हम लोग एक एक इंडेक्स पे जो कैरेक्टर रखा हुआ उसको लेके और उसको शो कर देंगे. This is basically my take on it. All right, let me hold on for a second. Let me type the explanation of this. Your marking scheme would have a different pseudocode in it, but that doesn't matter. Basically, they are going to give you marks for declaration of integer variable, for index variable and result array, loop through the init string, picking up each character, applying the conversion for each character, then going to that basically location and increasing that location, and then outputting at the end. So technically, we have basically we have earned all the marks associated with it. So this is basically the explanation of it. All right, the given pseudocode performs following steps. Okay, declare a string variable, initializes all the elements, ask the user for each, and then we go through this string for every character, and then we pick out the value of that character. Then we go to that location in the result array and increment that by 1. After going through all the characters in the string, the result array will have the count of each digit from 0 to 9. Finally, we display the count. This program reads a string of numeric digits, count the occurrences of each digit in the string, and then display the count for each digit. Okay, now 3A, 3B. This is 8 marks question, you see. Question 4. A program is being written to control the operation of a portable music player. One part of the program controls the output volume. The player has 2 buttons, one to increase the volume and one to decrease it. Whenever a button is pressed, the button procedure is called with a parameter value representing the button as follows. Button parameter value, volume increase 10, volume decrease 20. For example, pressing the volume button 3 times followed by pressing the volume button, decrease button once would result in the call button 10, increase, 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 decrease. Okay. The program will make use of the global variables of type integer as follows. Variable volume level, the current volume setting, this must be between 0 to 49, and then maximum volume, a value that can be set to limit the maximum volume level in order to protect the user's hearing. A value in the range 1 to 49 indicates the volume limit. A value of 0 indicates there is no volume limit has been set. The procedure button will modify the value of volume level depending on which button has been pressed and whether the maximum value has been set. समझ में आया? So इसमें बस सिंपल सा ये है कि जब आप एक बटन प्रेस करते हैं तो अगर वो बढ़ाने वाला है तो आप कॉल करते हैं बटन के प्रोसीजर को 10 के साथ, अगर कम करने वाला है वॉल्यूम को तो 20 के साथ वो कम होता है. All right, so write pseudocode for procedure button, declare any additional variables you use. The value of maximum volume should not be changed within the procedure. Parameter validation is not necessary. Okay, so let's write the code. ये अब जरा लंबी चौड़ी definition है, अब ये आपको ध्यान में रखना है, ठीक है? Let me hold on, let me write the code for you. There we go. Question 4. This is unlike the marking scheme, okay? So that you have a new flavor of it. Procedure button value is the variable that will be used as, what do we call it? Parameter as integer. Declare volume change as integer. If button value is equal to 10, then volume change is equal to 1. If button value is equal to 20, then volume change is equal to -1. Else, exit, not return, exit procedure. Okay, volume is equal to volume plus whatever the volume change parameter says. All right, over here, no, the variable volume change says. Okay, if volume level is within the allowed range, if volume level is less than 0, then volume level is equal to 0. You see, 20s keep coming in. So if we apply that in this formula, 20 will become -20, 0 will become -20. So we have to bring it back. Similarly, if it is greater than 49, so we would have to actually keep it in the limit. It will be 49. If it would not let it go beyond the range. Check if the maximum value is set and if the volume level exceeds the limit. If maximum volume is greater than 0 and volume level is greater than maximum volume, then volume level is actually equal to maximum volume. Okay, so this is end procedure. So this is very simple, straightforward. The question is a bit lengthy, but the answer is not. So hold on, let me write a little explanation of this code for you so that when you revise it, you don't have any trouble understanding. I'll be sharing this file with you later. Hold on. Okay, so there is the explanation of it. It will actually help you understand later when you will be revising. Move on to the next part. The procedure button is to be tested using black box testing. Fill in the gaps below to define 3 tests that could be carried out. Test 1, volume level is changed, parameter value 10, maximum value, what would be the maximum value? Volume level, value before call to button is 48. Volume level expected after call to button is what? Similarly, we have got 3 tests. Okay. So your marking scheme says that, let me put it my way. Hold on. So test 1, volume level is changed, parameter value is 10, maximum volume will be maximum volume is 0, volume level before call to is 48, volume level expected value after the call is 49, which is the maximum. Test 2 is volume level is not changed, parameter value is 10, maximum value 34. So before it is 34, after if it is not changed, it means that it remains 34, isn't it? Then we have got volume level is not changed, parameter value is 20, maximum value is 40. Volume before is 0, so it will remain 0. Okay, it will remain 0. Let me put an explanation to it so that you could remember it. Understand? Commentary. This is not for exam, this is for you to revise. Okay. Hold on, let me type it. Okay, so I have described all these 3 tests so that you could understand it properly. So commentary is there. Okay. Now, next part C. The testing stage is part of the program development lifecycle. The program for the music player has been completed. The program does not contain any syntax error, but testing could reveal further error. Identify and describe one different type of errors. So type in description. Okay, what could be those errors? Those might be logical error, those might be runtime errors. Those are simple. Okay, so let me put it for you. Part C. Runtime error. Runtime errors always crash the program, and logical errors. Logical error means an error that is there that let the code execute, but the results are not right. Okay. All right. So next part. Stub testing is technique often used in development of the modular program. Describe the technique. What is basically stub? It's about the fake subroutines. You see, when the program is being broken down into number of subroutines, not every programmer makes the program develop the subroutine part assigned to him in the same time. So a few of those work earlier, few of those take their time because of the nature of the subroutine, the complexity, and the size of the code. For that reason, what basically happens that all those subroutines which are submitted earlier cannot be tested until other subroutines which are yet developing are submitted. For that reason, what basically happens that the project manager, what he does or she does, they produce fake subroutines for the part which is not yet developed, and adding those fake subroutine makes the program complete, and the completed parts are then checked. So this is part 2. This was C1, and this is part 2. So it is a bit lengthy, but this is just for your understanding. Your marking scheme says a little about it. Okay. So stub testing is a technique that is used during the development of the module program, where different components or modules of a program are developed and tested independently. A stub is a simple temporary implementation of module, a fake one, or a function that simulates the behavior of the actual module or function, but does not provide the full functionality. So it is fake. All right, the main purpose of stub testing is to isolate different modules in the program and allow them to be tested independently before they are integrated. Stub serves as the placeholder for the actual modules, allowing developer to test the interaction between modules without having to wait for the full implementation of each module. In this technique, developers create stubs for the functions or modules that are not yet implemented or are being developed by other team members. The stub returns predefined or hard-coded values or mimic the expected behavior or to some extent, allowing the result allowing the rest of the program to be tested without the need for the actual implementations. When the actual modules and functions are implemented, the steps are replaced with the real implementations, and then the entire program is tested together. The step testing is particularly useful in large projects with multiple developers working on different parts of the code, as it helps identify issues and integration problems early in the development process, making it easier to fix them before the final integration. Remember? So what your basically marking scheme says is this. So this is as per the marking scheme, which is basically the same. I need you to revise it well. That is why I have given my part to it. So this is your marking scheme. All right. So test carried out before all the modules or routines. Basically, it is the same. So this is my 2 cents. Okay. Not for exam. This is for your understanding. Next part. Question 5. The module header for 3 modules in a program are defined in pseudocode as follows. Procedure lookup. It receives P4 by ref M4 function update T4 returns integer function validate S2 integer P3 returns boolean. A 4th module renew calls the 3 modules. So renew is the main module. Calls the 3 modules in the following sequence. Draw a structure chart. So let me pull out my iPad for you. And share it exclusively so that you'll just see this screen. There we go. So it says, oh, I want you to see both. Hold on. Much better. Okay. Now it says, this is the first one. Renew. Okay, so renew is calling all of these. So we have renew. You have to put these parentheses, okay? Mind that. Renew. So renew is calling first validate, then lookup, then update. So this sequence top to bottom in the structure chart goes from left to right. So we have got validate. Then we have got what? Lookup. Then we have got what? Update. All right. So now what is basically happening? Procedure function validate is being called. Okay. And then S2 and P3 are being transferred. So validate is being called. Remember, we don't use any arrows. So this is first variable, which is basically S2. And then we have got P3. And this returns what? Returns Boolean. So Boolean is basically a flag. So it goes back. So whatever that is being returned, we don't use any name for it. And if it is Boolean, then we use a flag. Flag is basically this arrow with filled shape. Okay. And then comes lookup. So lookup is basically a procedure which is going to receive P4 and M4 by reference. M4 by reference would have different idea. So this is P4 by reference. We use arrow pointing towards both sides. So this is M4. Okay. So since it is by reference, this is by reference. So we use this. If it is not by reference, it is by val, we use this. Simple. These are called what? Data couples. And this is flag. Now, the third one is update. Update is expecting just T4. And returns integer. So this is simple going back. Okay, so this is basically what they're expecting from you looking at this explanation. And this is basically the structure chart. Structure chart is a major part. Okay, and you should be very good with it. So this is question 5. All right, there we go. Next question. Question number 6. Oh, this is a good one. A text file student list.txt contains a list of information about students in a school. Each line of the file contains a reference name and date of birth for one student. All the information is held as a string and separated by asterisk as follow: reference, asterisk, name, asterisk, date of birth. So this asterisk will help us to extract these three values from a string. An example of the line is this, okay? G1234, this is the reference. Aliza Hilton is basically the name, and this is the date of birth, 506-2001. The reference string may be 5 or 8, maybe 5 or 8 characters in length, and is unique for each student. It is made up of alphabetic and numeric characters only. A global 1D array levers contains the references of all the students who have recently left the school. The array consists 500 elements of data type string. Unused elements contain the empty string. A program is to be written to produce a new text file update list.txt containing information only for students who are still attending the school. The program is to be implemented as several modules. The outline description of 3 of these is as follows. So first one is a process student list. It is read each line of the file student list.txt, check whether reference appears in the array. Search levers is called. If the reference does not appear, then write it to the file update list.txt, return the number of lines and not copied. Search levers search for the given reference in the array levers. If reference is found, return true, otherwise return false. Then count times, take 2 parameters, the name of an array and a string. Count the number of elements that are the same as the string, return count value. I'm sure that you will not be able to grab the whole thing in one go as I have read it, but definitely when I'll be sharing the solution with you, you will be able to understand it. Write the program code for the module. Search levers, declare any additional variables you use. Basically, we are not going to write the program code. We are going to write the pseudocode as your syllabus now. Okay, so pseudocode, hold on, let me put it up for you. I'm going to give you people my own version. So do use your marking scheme to compare it as well and see what are the differences. But I hope that okay, so we only need to write the search levers. So this is basically question 6. So can you solve few papers of P1 also? Yes, we will be. When I do P1, you people are worried about P2. When I do P2, you people are worried about P1. And here I'm in the middle. Okay, so this is basically the module search lever. Since it is returning, it is called function. So then it will be end function. Now, search levers, it is using reference as a string, as parameter, returns Boolean, declare I as integer for I is equal to 1 to 500. If levers I is equal to reference, then it returns true, and if, and then comes next. And if it gets out of it without returning, you see, when we return, basically the function ends. So if we return somewhere in the middle, it would not go anymore. Function will be wind up and the value true will be returned. If we get out of this for next and we don't find it actually, then in that case, we get out, it means that it is not found. So we will be returning false. So that is what it is. Okay, so this is A part. Now, part B. Write pseudocode for the module process student list. The module description is repeated for the reference. We have already read it. You would have to give me a little time to write the code for it. Let me write the explanation of the previous code for you too. All right, so this is the explanation of it. Now part B. So again, this is for process student list. Okay, I have written these codes in older syllabuses. So let's just discuss them. So it is returning. So this is basically a function. Okay, so this is the function. It reads each line from the student list. So declare input file, output file. It is basically the string, the name of the file. Declare line, reference, name, date of birth as a string as well. Declare count as integer. This is basically open file, input file. Let's assign this input file or leave it out. Let's just directly open it. Open file, student list.txt for input. We have got now read, and then open file, update list.txt for output. Now we have got write for it. Okay, so we have opened both of the files. So we initialize the count while not end of file, Now we have got EOF function. So we are actually going to put a student. We have to read the whole student file, right? Okay, read line from input file. So this would be read file, comma into line. Okay, reference is equal to get field line 1, 2. All right, so this is basically, we have to be very much specific about it. N is equal to locate in line, comma asterisk. So reference is equal to not get field, rather mid of the line n plus 1. No, sorry, from 1 to n minus 1. So this will basically find the reference out of it. And then we have n, and this time we will start locating from n plus 1 in the line for the star. So name will be taken with the mid of the line starting from n plus 1, and then let's make it m n plus 1, and then m minus n. Okay, so this will be picking up. So it will start from n plus 1. From n plus 1 it will be started, and then m minus n. This is basically the thing. So name will be output, name will be extracted. N is, let's say, if this first star was found here, if the first star is found here, then n will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and second star is found over here. So this is basically 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So 6 plus 1, 7, it will start reading it. And then this is m, this is n, so m minus n. So it will pick up as many characters. So that is what the logic is. Okay. And then we have to extract date of birth. So date of birth. So middle of line starting from m plus 1 to length of line minus m. So this will pick up the date of birth from the right side. All right, so if not search lever reference, okay, so it means that if search lever reference is equal to false, then write line to output file. So write file. What is the output file? Output file is basically update list.txt. Comma line. Count is equal to count plus 1, so we counted it. So and while, and then we have basically close the files. And remember, whenever we open the file, we close the file. So there are separate marks allocated for opening and closing. So this is end function. This is it. Let me put explanation of it so that you later understand it as well. Okay. Next part, this was B, and then the last part C. Count times is to be used to count how many unused elements are there in the levers array. An unused element is the one that contains an empty string, double quotation wala. The module description is repeated here for the reference. Count times, the take two parameter, the name of the array and the string, count the number of elements that are the same as the string, return the count values. Write a statement in the program code that uses count times to assign the count of unused elements to result. Okay. So that is very simple. Let's do that. This is just 3 marks. This is C part, and it is this. Result is equal to count times levers, comma, null. So we are actually going to send it 2 values. Name of the array, which is levers. If you like, you can put these large brackets in front of it. Otherwise, when we are sending array as the parameter in an argument, we do not actually use these 2. Okay, so this is optional, strictly optional, and a string. So this string is basically null. So it is finding how many are not used, count times. Okay, count the number of elements that are the same as the string. This is string. Okay, so return the count value. So Here is the explanation of it so that you could revise it easily. All right. So this is it. When I'm solving papers, I'm not going to use this appendix, rather I'm using functions from my own understanding. So you people must be checking the source code and using these given functions and whatever operators and all in your own course. Okay, so this is basically a must in exam. I might have used different functions somewhere. All right, so this was your October-November 2019 paper 2.2 solution.